love all my friends. I wanna go to the mall and shop with them. Go to a Foot Locker and buy shoes and walk with them. I wanna. Hold on, let me see. Where do I need to put this? Yeah, about right here. Oh yeah, I need to put that right there. Okay, let's get straight into it. Oh, should I start with this first? Oh, nah, I'm gonna start with that. I want to react to this. Somebody sent me this clip. Is Drake even safe in LA? People say that Drake might be banned in LA. And I think somebody sent me a message and said that Drake was one of his shows was canceled in LA. Is that true? I think somebody sent me a message and said that. Damn, where was that at? I think somebody said that let me check my message real quick. I think somebody sent me a message and said that one of Drake's shows was canceled in LA. Drake had a show in LA he canceled. Oh, that he canceled. Oh yeah, somebody showed me that LA is freaky. Okay, yeah. So somebody sent me a link to this to react to because it looked like allegedly, Drake might be behind the scenes, blocking people, well, not people, but TDE artists, right? We had 2 TDE artists shows being canceled and allegedly, word around town, people are saying that Drake might be the person calling the shots, allegedly. But now people saying, well, not only people, but Schoolboy Q said that. Schoolboy Q definitely has voiced his opinion, feeling like Drake is behind this. And now it seems like since allegedly Drake is canceling shows for TDE members, it might not be safe for Drake. So let's see what this video is about. Salute to this person, make sure y'all go check him out. All right. Is Drake even safe in LA? All right, so we're gonna see what we got going on. Okay, let's check it out. Let's get it. Let's do a reaction.
Safety by beefing with Kendrick Lamar, but just how vulnerable is he?
People are funny. What the fuck?
How vulnerable is he? With the Not Like Us music video in constant rotation, fans are still talking about the beef between Kendrick and Drake. But one thing a lot of people overlooked is the street politics behind the music. When Kendrick and Drake's diss tracks made plenty of serious allegations and personal attacks, they also dealt heavily with LA's well-documented gang culture. Los Angeles has long been recognized as one of the most dangerous cities for rappers, and it's possible that Drake may have made himself completely unwelcome after challenging one of the West Coast's favorite stars. But
so how do y'all feel? Do y'all think Drake is going to be allowed to perform, not only Drake, but the OVO artists? Do y'all think now, since TDE artists can't seem to perform in Toronto, do y'all think that Drake and the OVO artists are not going to be able to perform in California and specifically, LA probably? But this is going to be interesting.
What about the time Drake was almost set up by gang members in LA? And also, what's the backstory behind LA's deadly reputation? How did Drake try and lean on his own West Coast connections to try and beat Kendrick at the height of their beef? We're gonna go even further to investigate the unprecedented show of gang unity at Kendrick's historic pop-out concert just a few weeks ago. With a guest list this stacked with different gang sets, what exactly is Drake up against? And maybe most importantly, did Kendrick really chase Drake out of LA?
A couple of from my hood got off and, had a couple disputes and fights.
Drake himself allegedly almost fell victim to LA's streets years ago until a West Coast rapper intervened. The game has long been considered one of the torchbearers of the West Coast. He shot to fame in the 2000s as a protege of Dr. Dre and a member of 50 Cent's group G Unit. The game has also spoken openly about his gang ties. He's famously well known for being a Blood and for being a member of the Cedar Block Pyru set in Compton. The game's success in music and notoriety in the streets also meant that he was seen as a mentor figure for many up-and-coming West Coast artists. Kendrick Lamar's first tour had him opening for the game as a hype man, and other artists like Nipsey Hussle paid tribute to the game's influence on them over the years. But as it turns out, the game also stepped in to protect Drake in what could have been a really tragic incident. In multiple interviews, Compton rapper The Game claimed that in 2015, Drake's safety was jeopardized by unnamed gang members who were monitoring his movements and wanted Game to help set him up. Instead, Game refused and offered Drake his protection. In their collab 100, Game raps about the incident in detail. Game needing to protect Drake from being set up just goes to show that Drake knows all too well how dangerous LA could be. But how did LA...
So is that one of the reasons why that Drake did a song with What the game was because allegedly the game stopped Drake from getting his snot rock. Interesting.
They get the reputation for being so deadly for rappers in the first place.
That was the culture. That's what it was. It wasn't dudes just pulling out and just shooting. That's the dudes beat your back then.
In February of 1997, the Notorious B.I.G. traveled to LA on a high-profile publicity tour for his upcoming album, Life After Death. From the very start, there were concerns about his safety. Biggie had been embroiled in an infamous East Coast-West Coast war, a years-long feud that involved some of the biggest names in hip-hop. At that point in time, rappers from LA were considered unsafe in New York and vice versa. Biggie's biggest rival, Tupac Shakur, who represented the West Coast, had been murdered just a few months prior. Big didn't know it at the time, but this trip to California would end up being his last. From the very start, Biggie's visit to the city was tense. He admitted to hiring additional security for the trip, and he was booed by the audience when he appeared on stage at the Soul Train Awards.
What's up, Cali?
On March 9th, Biggie was leaving an industrial after-party when he was shot 4 times and killed. The murder of Notorious B.I.G. gave LA a reputation for being unsafe, but that reputation only became more intense in recent years. In 2020, New York rapper Pop Smoke was renting an Airbnb in the Hollywood Hills when he was targeted by a home invasion. Pop was pistol whipped.
A lot of things done happen in LA, so I don't know why people be playing with LA. I mean, it's well documented that, you know, a lot of things going on in LA. So I don't know why people be playing.
And shot over his Rolex watch, which was later sold for just $2,000. Great job. In 2022, Florida rapper Kodak Black was shot in the leg and injured outside of a party hosted by Justin Bieber on
I remember that.
Super Bowl weekend. While the shooter was never identified or arrested, Kodak insisted that it was a random attack. And just months later, Philly rapper PNB Rock was robbed and killed in front of his girlfriend while eating at Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles. Police later arrested 3 people in connection with PNB's shooting. PNB Rock's murder sparked an outcry from Ice-T, who grew up in South LA.
I love LA, but LA's violent. LA is a very, very f***ed up place.
Ice-T had previously received a lot of attention for advising out-of-town rappers to play it safe while visiting LA, claiming that
I remember that. Yeah, I remember this.
the city is home to over 50,000 active gang members. The thing is, LA isn't just treacherous for outsiders. Rappers who claim the city of angels have lost their lives in the very same streets. In 20...
But yeah, I mean, but the thing about LA, if you mind your business, you'll be all right. But if you talking shit, you shouldn't have been talking shit. All right? Because I can say that for myself. I went to LA. I went to Slauson. I can never say that word. I went to Crenshaw by myself, and I was wearing the wrong hat and everything. I was wearing the wrong color and everything. Nothing happened to me because I minded my business. I wasn't there, you know, flexing, talking shit, you know. So, you know, people put a bad jacket on LA. If you mind your business, you'll be okay. But if you if you talking shit, they gonna check your temperature. But yeah, I was in LA. I went to Nip's store, but it was closed down. But I did a whole video on it. You know, some of y'all probably seen it, some of y'all probably didn't. And I didn't even know, like, I can show y'all real quick. I didn't even know, like, I was trying to be neutral, right? I was trying to be neutral. And I said, you know what? I ain't wearing no red, no blue. But I didn't know the hat politics until I posted the video and it was like, yo, you got on the wrong hat. And I'm like, what you mean I got on the wrong hat? It was like, you got an H hat on. And I'm like, why? It was like, it's a Hoover Crip and you wearing their colors. I didn't know that. I thought I was being neutral. Look, this is me right here. I thought I was being neutral. I had on a gray suit. I said, all right, I don't think nobody banging in gray. So I purposely had on a gray sweatpants suit and, well, no, it was NY. It was NY. Yeah, I had on an NY hat and it was orange. It was like, nah, bro, you ain't supposed to wear that. I didn't know until I started reading my comments. But during this moment, I was just minding my business, you know, and you know, one dude came up and said, what's up? Where you from? And I said, Houston. And he was like, all right. So maybe that was like a little check-in or whatever. But, you know, I was down there in LA by myself. You know, ain't nothing happened. So, you know, LA is not it is what it is. But if you mind your business, you'll be all right. But I didn't know all the hat politics that LA had. So yeah, I was down there by myself, right? And I had on the wrong hat. I had no idea. But I had a neutral color. I thought I was being neutral. I didn't know y'all. I couldn't wear orange. I said, oh shit, damn. I thought I was being neutral. But still, nothing happened. You know what I mean? Because I just showed respect. I was, you know, minding my business. I wasn't loud talking and everything's cool. So, you know, as long as you ain't talking shit, you'll be all right. You'll be all right.
2015, Compton rapper YG survived the shooting while working at a recording studio. In 2018, Nipsey Hussle was shot 10 times while standing outside his clothing store in LA's Crenshaw district and killed. And in 2022, South Central local Drake the Ruler was swarmed by reportedly 60 men wearing masks who stabbed him to death while at a LA music festival. The sheer amount of violence and crimes targeting rappers have definitely earned LA its reputation. Ice-T said it best, it's the Wild West for a reason.
LA is an illusion. I could stand out here in the corner and any minute, like cars will pull up.
But when Drake dropped his diss song Family Matters, everyone was looking to see how the gang affiliates that Drake shouted out would respond. In Family Matters, Drake shouted out specific artists well known for their street affiliations in LA, claiming that they were active in the streets while Kendrick isn't. First, there's YG, who has long claimed the treetop Pyru set in Compton and has a long history of collaborating with Drake. Their hit single, Who Do You Love, from YG's debut album went double platinum and peaked at number 54 on the Billboard Hot 100. Their follow-up collaboration, Why You Always Hatin', was nearly as successful. It peaked at number 62 and also went double platinum. But after Family Matters came out, YG dropped a song called Weird that many fans speculated was a direct response to Drake's name drop.
Definitely was. Definitely. This was definitely a shot at Drake.
Don't ever mention my name. You gon' have me jeopardizing my fame, jeopardizing the game, jeopardizing what you hate.
Next, Drame name-checked the game, who, as I mentioned before, is a flag-carrying member of the Cedar Block Pyrus and is well known for speaking on gang politics. But he's also famous for having worked closely with both Drake and Kendrick. However, in response to Family Matters, he opted not to take sides. He posted a video where he saluted Kendrick, but also referred to Drake as his so-called brother. Finally, Drake shouted out none other than Chris Brown himself. Breezy grew up in Virginia, but he's famously forged close ties with the Fruittown Pyruset, which is another Compton gang active in LA. Not only has Chris Brown famously been seen throwing up Fruittown gang signs, but unnamed gang sources spoke to TMZ and confirmed they've given Chris the green light to act as an affiliate of the Fruittown set. Chris didn't directly respond to Drake's shout-out, but multiple videos have gone viral of Chris dancing and turning up to Not Like Us while in the club, even rapping along to the lyrics as Kendrick savages Drake. Pretty much every LA artist, except for Game, that Drake tried to click up with, ended up turning their backs on him to side with Kendrick. But to Kendrick's blockbuster pop-out concert...
How much money do you think Chris contributed to those nice people? Well, probably a couple of mil. Yeah, because he definitely had to pay his way to get up in there. How much money do you think Chris had to come off of? Yeah, I'm sure that was a nice little lump sum.
So that Angle would provide even more clues about what Drake's up against.
Today, I saw Wack 100 post, Drake, you're good at LA, you ain't gotta worry about nothing. If I'm Drake, I don't know if Wack is being sincere.
The pop-out concert on Juneteenth featured a murderous row of some of LA's most prominent artists, as well as a ton of up-and-coming acts. Industry heavyweights like Roddy Ricch, Ty Dolla $ign, and Tyler the Creator all performed, while up-and-coming artists like Rembo also got their own chance to shine. In fact, the event was celebrated as one of the biggest showcases of West Coast talent in history. But at the same time, the pop-out was a gathering for some of Drake's most prominent ups, both on stage and off. Kendrick even brought out Dr. Dre himself to perform the I See Dead People intro of Not Like Us, which left zero doubt that the legendary NWA founder was riding with Kendrick through thick and thin. But what's even more significant was at the end of the show where Kendrick brought every artist who performed on stage for a group photo. Kendrick commented on how emotional the moment was for him, taking care to point out the significance of different gang sections sharing a stage peacefully. Kendrick noted that there was Crips, Bloods, and Pyrusets all there assembled on stage together in an unprecedented show of unity that Drake should probably take notice of.
Everybody on the stage got fallen soldiers, but we right here right now celebrating all of them.
Man, fuck you two, man. Man, do y'all know how crazy that live stream was? I still got the video. Damn, man, they took it down. Man, that video was going crazy. That was a crazy moment, man. Salute to everybody that was there, man. Hey, that night was crazy, but YouTube struck my live stream down. Fucking bitch. But yeah, this night was crazy. It was lit, man. It was definitely lit.
The cross-section of artists who appeared at the pop-out represents a huge portion of LA's complicated gang politics. Schoolboy Q, Kendrick's longtime label mate when he was at TDE, has openly repped the Hoover Criminals, a set that was once so notorious for beefing with rivals that their affiliation with the Crips was dropped in the 90s. Meanwhile, J-Rock, another close, longtime associate of Kendrick, is known as a bounty hunter Watts Blood, a set active in LA's Nickerson Gardens projects. YG, who's a...
Yo, I honestly didn't know, like, there's so many different levels of Bloods and Crips. Like, before... I just started knowing about this, like, when I went down there. I thought it was just one Bloods and one. I didn't know. Boy, y'all got like there's different tiers, different. I said what? I thought it was just one big Blood, one big Crips. But sheesh, yeah. I bet you people in LA don't even know. Like it's like a whole school. It's like a whole university. It's like, how do y'all keep up with that stuff? Ooh, I don't know how y'all keep up with that stuff. I'd be confused. I'd be like, what? Huh? What? But I ain't even worried about it. But I didn't know it was like, it's complicated.
Top Pyru made a high-profile appearance where he not only performed his own set, but even danced along to the Not Like Us while Kendrick performed it 5 times in a row, stomping all over Drake. Shout out to him on Family Matters. Ty Dolla $ign is admitted to gangbanging as a blood, along with Westside Boogie, who's also known to have blood affiliations. While Roddy Ricch has declined to broadcast his specific set affiliations, he's admitted to joining the Crips when he was younger, and Remble has already openly spoke about his own Crip affiliations. Kendrick Lamar himself has been adamant that he was never a gangbanger, but grew up in an area of Compton notorious for having a Westside Pyru affiliation, and has appeared many times in public with Westside Pyru members. And that's only naming the artists on stage. Prominent artists in the crowd included well-known Drake collaborator turned op Rick Ross from Florida, and The Weeknd, who reps Toronto. Snoop Dogg, who's well known as a Long Beach Crip, didn't appear at the pop-out, but posted a video of support after, celebrating Kendrick uniting different gang sets and declaring him the king.
K-Dot, you are the king of the West. That's the kind of kings do.
Plus, Kendrick's lyrics on songs like Not Like Us and Euphoria allude to consequences if Drake ever decides to cross the line again. On Not Like Us, Kendrick said, "You think the Bay gon' let you disrespect pot? I think that Oakland show might be your last stop." Sounding a lot like a green light for Oakland to get busy if Drake ever decides to come through the city again. And on Euphoria, Kendrick's bar, "Don't speak to the family Crody, it gets deep in the family Crody," was widely interpreted as Kendrick warning Drake not to drag his family into the beef. But it's also very likely that Kendrick was warning Drake of how deep his family ties go when it comes to his connections to different gang sets across the city. Kendrick warned Drake to keep it a friendly fade, which in LA lingo is anything but friendly. Catching a friendly fade is pretty much the same as getting packed up by your enemies. And that sounds like an implicit threat if there ever was one. The Pop-Out show is definitely a landmark moment for street unity, but also broadcasted just how much Kendrick is respected throughout rival sets in LA.
Big and Chris with Buzz and Chris. But just to see that, bro, it's progress. Yeah.
So here's the real question. How has Drake reacted to all of LA turning on him? For the most part, he's been pretty silent about his new surprise ops. For example, he hasn't publicly mentioned his longtime collaborator YG and the assumed subliminal shots that YG took on him on Weird. But in the aftermath of the beef, he seems to be taking his safety in LA a lot more seriously. Just days after Not Like Us shook up the rap game, Drake listed his $88 million mansion in Beverly Hills for sale. While it's possible that this was a real estate move that was planned out way before things really popped off, the timing seems pretty unmistakable.
Yeah, the timing was a little, you know, but I did my research on it, but he was selling that house like 3-4 years before it actually got sold. But when it got sold, that was like yeah, just crazy timing. But to keep it fair, yeah, he had that property on the market for about 3-4 years. But the timing was it was funny.
From the looks of it, Drake seems to be dropping his ties to LA and maybe trying to stay way out of Kendrick's way. More recently, Drake has been spotted spending a lot more time at his newly purchased $15 million ranch in Texas. This, of course, comes in the aftermath of violence erupting at his house in Toronto, where multiple intruders were apprehended by police and a security guard was shot. While there aren't any confirmed ties between that shooting and this beef, it's pretty obvious that Drake—
And what happened with that shooting? Why we haven't got any update? Do y'all know any names, suspects, mug shots? Do we got any leads? How does that just disappear? Huh? How does that magically just disappear? We didn't get nothing. I mean, it was covered. Everybody was covering it. The Toronto police, CNN, every major news company was covered that. Why no updates? Why no updates? Man, we're obviously never going to figure it out. But a lot of people saying that it was staged, it was fake. It seems to be. Because didn't somebody got shot in the chest or shot in the stomach? I think it was the chest or the stomach or something like that. Okay, shouldn't we have a victim? Shouldn't we have people that, did what they did with, other people? I ain't going to say their names, but they just got caught recently, right? They can track everything. In a rich neighborhood like that, you telling me no surveillance, no camera, no license plates, no car, no suspect, no nothing? Allegedly. Something just ain't right. Man, something ain't right about that situation, but we'll probably know. But I'm going to always keep asking, what the hell happened to that shooting at Drake's house? Something just ain't right. No suspect, no nothing. Tell him. Something just ain't right. Talk to him. God damn it, talk to him, you pop.
Something just ain't right. Matter of fact, hold up. We love. Bring it back. Come rewind. Something just ain't right.
Something just ain't right.
is in a precarious situation. For Kendrick's part, he's even taken notice of Drake's change of location. While performing his diss track Euphoria at the pop-out, Kendrick subtly changed his lyrics to reflect he was monitoring his enemy's whereabouts. While in the original version, Kendrick claims that he and Drake are on a 3-hour time difference, and a shout out to Drake living in Toronto, his live performance had Kendrick remarking on how they were only 2 hours apart now that Drake is cooped up in Texas. Pretty slick. It really looks like Kendrick chased Drake out of LA, and that his ops are so persistent that he had to relocate entirely to Texas. At this point, Drake hasn't been back to LA since things got heated, but you know all eyes are going to be on him when he finally makes his return. Will he still be able to move around the city, or has his disrespect to the West Coast changed things permanently? Only time will tell, so we'll stay tuned to report on what happens.
That's an interesting thing, right? And, you know, I think it's low-key disrespectful when, I don't know if it was intended. It's just the timing, right? The timing is crazy, right? So not only that, then he got his OVO hats, right? New York City, I can tell the people want it. New York. Y'all want it? New York City, I can say. New York. Yeah, I said that. So not only does he got that, he got a whole collection. But it's crazy that he got LA on there. You know, I don't mean, yeah, but it's crazy that he got LA. Who in has anybody in LA seen somebody rock this? I don't know. That's kind of crazy. He got a LA OVO 90. I wonder if people actually bought this shit. Let me see. Or sizes selling out? Hell no. You can get a full size run on this. Has anybody in LA seen somebody wear this? They said nope. Yeah, I ain't seen nobody in LA wear this. I wonder what would be the reaction if you know, you go to certain spots wearing this. I wouldn't advise that, but you know, just interesting. Somebody said that Drake's show got canceled. Let me see. Drake's show canceled in LA. Somebody said that in LA. Let me see. Is that true or not? Link to Kendrick Lamar. Drake show canceled at Memphis. Looks like Drake show. Looks like some conversation with. What does it say right here? Drake manager ensured that the plans, or however, show was in Memphis. Oh, that probably was something old. Oh yeah, that's something old. Okay, so all right, moving on.